New York City. Big Apple, the pinnacle of all cities. Man, I love this place. I have spent 35 years, my entire life in this city, and I wouldn't do it any differently if I could. The pandemic got us native New Yorkers feeling a little weird because the city was off, but it's slowly coming around and people are getting back out there, going back to work. You got people going to markets on the weekend. You got tourists finally doing tourist things again, and you got people having lunch in real life together. That's a fantastic thing. You got construction workers doing construction. You got contractors building things for rich people. And then you got your downtown artists being, well, artists. But in between all of these different activities and these things, you got people in transit to these things. You got people on 2 wheels, and 4 wheels. People getting into taxis and into buses. Most importantly, you got people getting on that iconic New York City MTA transit system. Now, let me tell you, as a native New Yorker, as wonderful as this system is, to us natives, it's getting old. I've been doing it since I was a kid, and it's just not for me anymore. You got people playing music too loud. You got your mediocre street performers trying to hustle you for $1. And then for all those other times, you just miss your train. Yeah, I'm over it. So, about 2 years ago now, it's been about 2.5 years ago that I just decided to say goodbye to public transportation as much as possible. It's not always a thing. But I decided to get my first motorcycle. Now, this was after I had my whole onslaught of electric gadgets. I had the 1 wheel, I had a boosted board, I had 2 Super 73 electric bikes. And then I went through my organic phase where I went back to pushing wood with an actual skateboard. Brought that back again. And I just decided, it's time. I've exhausted all my resources, all my wheel resources that I can. And it's time to take it to the next level. So I ended up buying a Vespa. I had the 50cc first and then moved up to the 150, which I still have. And about the time I got the 150, I realized that scooters just weren't enough. So I bought my BMW G310R. Had that for all of 4 months before I decided to size up to my Indian FTR 1200cc V twin. I had that for a better part of a year and a half, and if you've been following my videos, you'll know that unfortunately I had to say goodbye to about 3 months ago. At the turn of 2023, I had to say goodbye to that bike because somebody knocked it over and it got destroyed. So now I am here with the bike that you see in this video. I have the 2022 Yamaha MT-07, and I've just passed 1,000 miles, so beginning to break it in and really just feel it coming to its own, and it's great. But it got me thinking, having been through 3 bikes in 2 years, what is the real reason that I am so excited to get on my bike every single day? What keeps me coming back to this particular activity? After I get flat tires, after I have oil leaks, after I have problems parking this goddamn thing on the street. What is the real reason, other than the fact that it is just really fun to go fast and that it's cool to have a bike? Beyond that, what's the real reason? And, I thought about this at length. And for me, it's there's a much deeper kind of psychological analysis of where I am in life and, what I'm lacking and what I need. I suppose this is an early midlife crisis, if you will. But I'm 35, so this is not a full-on, there's no purpose to my life. But, as I said before, I spent 35 years in this city. And for me, this bike is a way to, motorcycling in general is a way to kind of reignite my passion for this city. I don't know absolutely everything about New York, but I know a fair amount. And really, I'm in the stage of nothing's exciting here anymore. There is nothing about New York that, I wake up on the weekends and I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to do blank. To me, the city is just become this kind of monotonous, redundant, I got cut off there. This monotonous, redundant collection of flashy, gaudy things to do and to spend money on. And nothing is alluring anymore. And it's such a jaded, kind of like sad state to be in. And I have to constantly talk myself out of this mindset because I have to remind myself I'm a very privileged person to be in such an awesome place, to have all of this stuff that you see in front of you. I mean, Times Square is Times Square, but I can come see a show. I can go to whatever restaurant I want. I can go downtown. I could, you know, go to any museum. There's tons of stuff to do in the city, and yet I am just fatigued and done with it. So the main thing that keeps me coming back to motorcycling, and that's really exciting to me, is what you're seeing right here. This is my ride to work, and I'm having a blast. It's just a way to bring the city back to life, allow me to partake in the best parts, or really not partake in the best parts, but be around and be witness to the best parts, which is everything you're seeing right now, which is the life, the energy, the people, the tourists, the people going to work, the vendors selling food, like all of that stuff. Everything that makes New York so great, I can see it and I can interact with it on my own terms, but I don't have to be controlled by it, if that makes sense. And then my second point, which is kind of tied into the tail end of that first point, is control. Control over your own life. Now, I'm not saying that, riding a motorcycle will, change my entire life and make me more in control of my actual life. But what I am saying is that it's an activity that requires you to be confident and in control. And if you are not that, there are repercussions. So for me, it is a confidence building exercise every day to get on my bike and go to and from work, to go see friends, to do whatever I got to do, to ride through this busy city and make it out the other end okay. It's a confidence builder just for the day. It kind of pumps me up. And, there's not a lot of, I guess this isn't true. The older you get, the more you realize that you have less and less control, whether it be rent, taxes, work schedule, obligations. Like, life seems less and less free. Whereas when you were younger, hopefully in some capacity, you felt free for a little bit and you just felt like the world was your oyster and you could do anything. But as you get a little bit older, that kind of fades away. And I think it's important to choose things to do that give you that sense of control and make you feel less under the boot. Because in reality, nothing has really changed. Life has always been that way. It's just your perception of it. So anything you can do to kind of shift your perception in a more positive light, I think will keep your head, out of the garbage. And I don't know about everybody else out there, but I often find myself with my head full on in that garbage and just kind of down about things. And, especially in New York, if you live here, there's so much flying at you and you just oftentimes don't have time to do things you want to do. And you just get bogged down by all this negativity. So for me, motorcycling gives me that sense of control. It gives me that sense of confidence. And it really helps build me up just on a micro level. I really do get down if I don't ride every day. Like when it rains, I usually don't ride when it rains just because it's a lot of gear and then you got to change. And the place that I'm at right now where I work at, the office is tiny, so there's no place to hang anything or anything out. So, et cetera, you did not ask. But those days I get really down because I just don't have that little burst of control. I got to get on that train and I got to get stuck in that the dark New York City subway system again, and I just kind of sit there as you rock back and forth. So that is the second thing that motorcycling gives me, is a sense of control and subsequently a sense of confidence. That is a huge thing in my life, and I don't think I'll ever stop riding until I'm physically unable to do so, because it has become such a big part of my life. Now, the last thing that this motorcycle, or motorcycles in general, as I keep saying, has given me is the ability to get out of the city. Now, that sounds pretty straightforward, but let me explain. I grew up in downtown Manhattan, and I traveled as a kid, but I didn't really it wasn't a yearly thing. I go see some family out in the West Coast, but for me, for some reason, the older I got, the smaller my world got, and I didn't really leave like downtown. Like I didn't even need to go to another borough. I went to college in Boston, but then I got back and I pretty much stayed right in this downtown area. Anything south of 14th Street, and I have New Yorker friends who got out and traveled a lot. I have New York friends who are more like me and who didn't travel. So I don't think it's a defining New York quality to not have gotten out that much. But my world is all city. So it's like 100% city, and anything outside of Manhattan, including other boroughs, to me just seems like a completely different country. Now I know that's retarded. I know it's just silly, but that's the way I see the world. And until I get out and I do it myself, I don't really believe it's there. Like I know it is there. So anyway, getting my first motorcycle allowed me to get out, and I got to go to the country. I got to go upstate. I went to Jersey. I went to Long Island, which I had no idea. I mean, I did, but I didn't really understand that Long Island is right there. It's not that far from New York. So getting this bike really broadened my horizons and made me realize that I could get out of the city, and that if I wanted to go on a hiking trip, I damn well could. It's not that far and it's not that hard. If I wanted to go see some friends in Jersey, not that hard. It just kind of changed the way that I approach the world, and kind of it's like limitless possibilities now. Anything's really possible. And you could say the same thing about a car, but there's something much more detached and kind of a less of a commitment when you're talking about motorcycles as opposed to cars. I don't know if that's actually true or not. Again, I don't know the science behind it, but I just know that, getting in the car, trying to find parking, getting it all prepped and getting all your stuff in the car is much less free or enticing than just jumping on your bike and going. Totally different mindset, totally different thought process. So, yeah, those are the real deep-rooted reasons that I ride a motorcycle, and that I've continually become more and more entrenched in this culture, this rider culture, because it's just done positive things for me in my life. I've yet to experience one real big negative thing that I just don't enjoy about motorcycling. There's small frivolous things like, you got to worry about where you park, you get a flat tire, just stuff like that, but that's not really reasons not to motorcycle. Those are just things that happen. So I highly encourage everybody I talk to get into motorcycles, or just wheels in general. There's something about motion that just is so freeing, so therapeutic, and just such a wonderful experience. Such a great way to navigate, in particular, a city, but just life. Keeps you young. So that's all I got today. Those are just my thoughts on why I ride. I wanted to break those down. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure to check out my other videos that I got posted. I got a bunch of random videos thrown up there. And I did just pick up a Insta360 camera, so new angles coming soon. I'm sorry guys for hitting you with the same thing, same view so many times, but thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.